I've played over 800 professional gigs in the last 6 years of my drumming career. I've been paid to travel to New York, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Colorado, California, Texas, and so many more other places just to play the drums. At this point, I've played in front of hundreds of thousands of people throughout my entire career. But I would have gotten here years sooner if I hadn't made so many basic mistakes along my journey. Now, clearly, I can't go back in time and change anything, but I can give you the 5 life lessons that I would have told my beginner self so you can monetize your passion way faster than I did. I call these lessons the 5 Ps. Number 1, be professional. Number 2, be proficient. Number 3, be punctual. Number 4, be personable. And number 5, be prepared. If you're ready to save yourself 7 years of making mistakes, then keep watching this video, because honestly, these are the mistakes that no one is talking about online, mainly due to the point that most drummers haven't hit this point in their career just yet. So it's fair to say that I know exactly what works and what doesn't work when it comes to making money as a musician. And by the way, if you want to do exactly what I do, hit the link below in the description to find out how we can work together one-on-one. I'll help you increase your drum skills, and I'll help you book more gigs just like I did in your area. Now, let's get to the lessons. The first lesson is to be professional. So many musicians make this mistake, and it is holding them back from making the most amount of money that they could possibly make. If you are not being professional, you are not going to get paid professional level money. As good as a drummer as I am, I have so many people that have admitted to the reason why they call me is not because of my musical skill, it's because I'm dependable and they know that I'm going to be professional. The funny thing about professionalism is it doesn't really have much to do with what you're playing when you sit down behind the instrument. It actually has to do with how you look, how you present yourself, how you behave, how you communicate with people. As a performer, I found myself having to interact with a lot of people, whether I'm playing a wedding, whether I'm playing a festival, whether I'm playing a private event. I have to interact with people. And if I'm not professional, if I don't carry myself as a professional, and if I don't look like a professional, I could deter the image of the entire band. So this is something that is very, very, very important when it comes to being in the music industry and trying to get paid the maximum amount of money. If you expect somebody to pay you a lot of money, then you should give them the image that you deserve to be paid a lot of money, even before they see you on the instrument. I can remember being in college and my professor was booking me for a lot of gigs. And I remember I asked him, I was like, dang man, you be booking me because of the chops I play, or you be booking me because of the way I lay down that groove? And he was like, no man, that's funny. I mean, you're a good drummer, but that's not why I book you so much. The reason why I keep calling you to play with me is because I know I can leave you alone and you not embarrass yourself and embarrass me. I can leave you alone and you can know how to talk to people. You'll know how to carry yourself. You'll be presentable. You'll look like somebody. That's why I call you, because you are a professional. And man, as a young kid, I'm thinking like, wow, the reason why he's calling me is because I can play really well. But that's not why he was calling me. The fact that I could play really well was just a cherry on top. But the real reason why he wanted to call me was because I was a professional. So with that being said, do not make the mistake of not being professional and setting yourself up to look like an amateur, because people are going to pay you amateur amounts and they're not going to feel comfortable calling you for higher scale gigs because you don't carry yourself like a higher scale musician. Now, let's move on to the next P. The next P is to be proficient. A lot of people don't understand that if you want to start getting paid more, if you want to have more gigs, you have to be proficient on your instrument, meaning you have to be executing on your instrument at a high level. People want to make sure that you can get the job done. At the end of the day, they are calling you to get a job done, whether it be to play piano, whether it be to play drums, or whether it be to sing. It doesn't matter. They're calling you to get a job done, and they have to be confident in your ability to be able to get this job done at a high level. And if you are proficient on your instrument, people will not think twice to call you because they know you can execute the job and get it done in a good way. Do not sell yourself short. During my time in school, I was very, very focused on practicing and practicing and practicing. So when the opportunities come my way, the last thing they have to think about is if I'm good enough on my instrument. And please be careful not to make the mistake to only focus on being proficient and not other things. You're going to have to be a good multitasker if you're going to be a good musician. You have to focus on being a multitude of things, and being proficient is one of those important things. But being proficient alone will not help you. That's why it's 5 Ps. Keep that in mind. Being proficient by itself is not going to get you as far as you want to go, because I can name so many people that are really, really good at their instruments, but they're lacking in so many other ways that people don't want to call them at all. But If you can be proficient and you can push yourself to grow on your instrument, if you can commit to a practice routine, if you can commit to investing in yourself, making the choice to get under somebody and take lessons or be mentored by somebody to make sure you're going in the right direction, these are the things that are really, really going to add to your proficiency as a musician. I see so many drummers who have a lot of drive, but they don't have the dedication to lock in. If you want to be proficient on your instrument, you're going to eventually have to make a choice of sacrifice and dedicate yourself to the instrument for a certain amount of time. Everybody that is really good has had to do it, but it is worth it. And it's better to get it over with now than to wait to do it and then have to do it later in your life. I decided to make the sacrifice while I was in college and when I was studying music. And now it's paying off whenever it comes to me having to play a lot of gigs and having people trust me to play those gigs at a high level. You're gonna have to make the choice. There's no way around it. If you're not in a position where you feel like you can't make the choice or you can't dedicate yourself to the instrument for hours and hours at a time, then it might be time to invest in taking lessons to speed up the process or working with someone like myself. Remember, I offer coaching, I offer mentoring to help you speed up the process of becoming better at your instrument so you can get where you want to get faster. So being proficient is very, very important. And if you would like to work with me again, one-on-one and boost your skills on the drums and learn how to book more gigs for yourself, hit the link in the description and I can help you do that. Let's move on to the next P. The third P is going to be being punctual. So many people disqualify themselves from opportunities because they can never be on time. Being on time is another way to show that you are dependable. Now, I understand everybody is not going to be on time to every single gig. Even me, I have been late to a couple of gigs because some things are out of my control. But you want to make sure that your track record is that you're on time more than you're late. People don't want to have to worry about you not showing up. People don't want to have to worry about you not being available when you told them you could be available. These are things that you have to keep in mind and you have to protect, because once you get the reputation of being somebody that is not punctual, that is not on point, that is always late, that is going to follow you and it's going to take years and years and years and years to undo. I want you to think about like a friend of yours that's always late. Think about how many times they would have to be on time in order for you to decide in your mind that they're actually a punctual person. Exactly. But because they have been late for so many consecutive years for everything, you have set it in your mind that they are not dependable when it comes to being on time for something. And if you need them to be somewhere, you're going to think twice about inviting them at the time they need to be there because you know they're going to be late. So think about it the same way when it comes to you doing music. If you are the musician that is continuously late over and over again, just always late, people are going to put it in your mind that I can't call him for these bigger opportunities. I can't call him for these bigger stages because he's not going to be on time. So you have to set the precedent and you really have to protect your reputation when it comes to being punctual, because people will take advantage of you and they will realize that you're a late person and they will count you out of the gigs that you want to be on, right? And that is going to be taking money out of your pocket. So absolutely make sure that you are always practicing punctuality. If you make the mistake of not being punctual, you're going to ruin your reputation as a musician, and certain opportunities will blow past you because people can't trust you to even show up on time to a gig. Now, let's move on to the next P. The next P is to be personable, and this one is very, very important because you got to realize that you spend a lot of time off stage with the people you're performing with, and you have to be personable and you have to be a good hang. I met so many musicians during my time at Berklee. They're so phenomenal when it comes to playing the instrument. But when it comes to social skills, they get an entire fat 0. It is not good to be so good at your instrument and then when people talk to you, you can't hold a conversation or you're not personable. People don't feel comfortable around you. You have to work on this craft. And the best way for you to work on this is to get around people more, shake more hands, go to the jam session in your city, meet somebody that you wouldn't typically talk to. Be personable. That is going to open up so many doors for you because people can feel comfortable around you. If you are socially awkward, people will not feel comfortable around you, and they will not feel comfortable putting you around other people because they know you're going to make the room awkward. They know you're going to make it weird. So being personable is a really, really huge thing. Remember what I said? My professor told me that he felt confident in leaving me by myself because I was a personable guy. Now, for some people, it's going to come more natural. I will admit, I am naturally more personable. I'm naturally more outgoing. Just how you see me on YouTube is how I am in real life. But Some of you are going to have to take some extra time to work on this, to push yourself to get out of your comfort zone and talk to people. If you're the type of person that will sit at a social setting, everybody's standing around talking and you're reading a book or you're sitting in the corner on your phone, those are the type of things that will make you seem like you're not personable, that will make you seem standoffish, and it will make it hard for people to approach you or to speak to you because you don't seem personable. Now, how are you going to get the opportunities that you want if you don't seem like it's easy to talk to you, it's easy to come up to you and communicate with you? That will rob you of so many opportunities, especially if people need to put you in a position where you're going to have to interact with people or you're going to have to network with people or shake hands. They won't trust that you're able to do that because you're not very personable. So to be personable is very, very important. Work on looking somebody in the eye, shaking their hand, work on smiling at people and just being a warm presence to people, and they will come to you. If you can get these skills down, people will be drawn to you and they will be more inclined to speak to you and to work with you even more and to call you back for more things if you're more personable and if you're not being a weirdo, to be completely honest. Nobody wants to be the weirdo on the gig that's sitting in the corner eating an ice cream cone just looking weird. We got to work on this, y'all, and social media is not helping. Social media is making us less and less personable because it doesn't require any social skills. So we have to work on being more social as musicians and more personable. Do not make the mistake of being a quiet, weird, recluse guy, because that is going to definitely take gig opportunities away from you more than it is going to help you gain them. Now, let's move on to the final P. The final P is to be prepared. So many people fall into the trap of not being prepared. And I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not just talking about learning your music, right? I'm not just talking about what key the song is in. I'm talking about being prepared in the sense of knowing that anything can and will go wrong at any time, and you need to be prepared to recover and adjust and keep moving. So many people think, oh, we're going to have the perfect run. We're just going to get on stage and everything's going to go perfectly. That is not the case. And I do music full-time professionally, and I can tell you, every single gig I play, something goes wrong. My stick breaks, my cymbal falls down, my camera turns off, it's not working, I don't get any content. That is going to happen, but you have to be ready to be prepared and roll with the punches and be ready to take what life is currently giving. Whenever I say be prepared, I know you're thinking like, oh yeah, he wants me to learn my music. But it's so much more than that. You got to keep in mind, learning the music is just the bare minimum. A lot of people want to get a pat on the back. Oh man, I learned all the music. I stayed up all night learning this music. Well, that's a given, man. That's what you're supposed to do as a musician. But I want you to think about what other ways can you be prepared? And what other ways can you set yourself up for success? What are certain things that you can do? Having some extra sticks in the back of your car, or having some extra drum keys, having an extra pedal, having some extra drum heads just in case your drum head breaks. These are things that you can do so you can see around the corner and you can be prepared for what may be able to come. Not just, I learned my music, but I only got one pair of sticks today. So if these sticks break, I can't play the drums to the best of my ability. These are the things we have to think about when it comes to preparation. Don't just think preparation is just, oh, I'm just ready to play the drums. It's so much more than that. Think outside of the box and think about how you can further prepare yourself to the best of your abilities. How can you be the most prepared that you can possibly be for this gig outside of just knowing the notes? If you can do that, I promise you, people will notice small things. And some of you may just be starting out, so you might be like, dang, how am I going to know what I need to be prepared for? As you continue to work, you're going to start realizing and picking up on certain things. Ooh, I need to prepare for that. If you sitting on the gig and you playing the drums and your kick head breaks through, you're going to realize, oh, okay, now I learned I need to have a spare kick drum head in the car at all times, just in case I need to change again. If you playing snare, if you playing the drums and one of your sticks break, now you got to play with a broken stick for the rest of the night. You're going to realize, dang, I need to have 3 or 4 pairs of sticks ready to go at a performance at any given time. And always, pro tip, always keep a pair of drumsticks underneath your seat in the car or in the trunk that you never touch, just in case you find yourself in a situation where you don't have drumsticks at all. Now, those are the 5 Ps. Those are the 5 things that if you follow those rules and you follow those lessons, you are going to excel very, very quickly, and you're going to do very, very well as a professional musician. Now, keep in mind, my coaching program is called School of Chops, Learning Drums, Learning Life. I want you to think back on the 5 things that we just talked about. In my coaching program, I do make people better drummers. But when we implement these things that we're learning on drums into our lives, I make people better human beings, better men, better brothers, better sons, better husbands, better fathers, better mothers, whatever the case may be. I help make them better, and this is what it's all about. So these 5 principles, don't just limit them to just, oh, I'm just going to use them for the drums. No. I want you to make sure you're using these in your life. Use them in your life, and if you want help implementing them, hit the link below in the description to find out how we can work together one-on-one and I will help you increase your ability to play the drums at a high level and to book more gigs and play full time just like I do. With that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all watching the video. If you like what you heard, hit the subscribe button, hit the link in the description to work with me one-on-one, and I will see you guys in the next video. God bless. Take it easy. Zeke out.